Okie dokie, what's going on, everybody? Your best buddy Basil here. We do not have the fun fake ad roll yet completed for your pre-show pleasures. But instead, I'm here. I have a bunch of popcorn bits in my mouth. I'm trying to get out. But we're going to start the show here. Excuse me. Oh no, it's all up in there. It's all up in the gums. What's going on, everybody? The usual reminders. I am going to actively send out the text message right now. Here goes. And for those who are not on the text message alert system, go ahead. Text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's the word to text, Canary. Don't text anything else, because you won't get put on the list. Somebody texted LOL, not on the list. I'm kidding. I think that person was already on the list. But anyways, text Canary to 877-740-3226. We are just going to start. I think we're just going to go. I always have stuff to say, but I'm going to save it. I do want to give a big old shout out to Caleb, Salda Paul, River Leader, Dadalorian, Estimating One, Christine, over on YouTube. We got Santa Wears Brown over on Twitch. Who do we got? The Racing Heart. Well, showing up on the Rumble. I see you. I see you all. Salta Paul says there's one watching. I don't know where you're watching this, Salta Paul, but they're lying to you. I hope they're lying to you, because it looks like you got a bunch of people in the chat there with you. All right, let's get the show started. 3, 2, 1, whee!
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is December 8th. 2023, and this is episode 696 or 5?
696.
Okay, updating the document now. That's right. Let's see here. Today, DISA War Now. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you, dear listener, are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's immersion phenomenon, Basil, do you feel the electromagneticity in the air?
Always
tapped in. Yep.
It's tingly. It's tickly.
Yeah, feels good. Disclaimer time?
Disclaimer.
Play a disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. Yeah, that's right. Let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Well, today, folks, we are learning about yet another government agency that I'm pretty sure you haven't heard about. I didn't hear about it. And the new disclosures about fifth generation warfare. We've been talking about this. It's also become very popular to talk about fifth generation warfare, and so we are doing our best to stay ahead of the pack. Canarians know it before the rest of the internet does. Then we'll be checking in with Flippy. Yeah, you'll get it. You'll see. And then we're doing a roundup on some transhuman news, including fifth-generation warfare-related technologies, low-frequency magnetic response of gold nanoparticles. Watch out. And no, we are not drawing lines that don't exist. A little checkup on CRISPR, and then the PSYOP continues at the Atlantic. What will happen to the American psyche if Trump is reelected? Ooh, I bet you could guess. Then at the end of the show, Nephilim Antarctica. Yee-hoo!
That's it, huh?
I'm going fast. I'm doing a fast thing. I'm going to cut down all pitches, all rambling, unless it's directly related and important to the story. We're seeing what it looks like to do a speed run today, folks. 5th gen warfare.
They're targeting you. They're targeting you.
5th gen warfare.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber pandemic.
CYBERPANDEMIC. It's all connected. This is something that came across my virtual desk, and I started digging. The rabbit trails were too enticing. I could not stop. So this is coming from PRNewswire. It's sort of a publication that shows some kind of, or anything that goes public. And the headline here, DISA releases new electromagnetic spectrum capability to enhance modern warfighting. Once again, DISA
5G warfare.
I know, isn't
like,
that just
Jar
right
Jar
up?
Binks.
I think they had to have known. The memes, it's going to begin. I'm sure this is just prime for mainstream or alt media adoption.
For the government office to be a reference to Jar Jar Binks, the most effective psychological operation of my generation, this is not a coincidence, folks.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out, and it was disturbing. It really was. A lot of people were disturbed by Jar Jar Binks, especially young people.
I love him. Jar Jar Binks is a national treasure.
The Defense Information Systems Agency, DISA, announced the release of the initial features for Electromagnetic Battle Management, Joint or EMBM-9, December 6th, which improves the U.S. military's situational awareness of the electromagnetic spectrum, or EMS, considered a modern-day battle space that spans the air, land, sea, space, and cyberspace domains.
Interdimensional. Gons, yeah. I don't know. I should let this go. I should not mention it. This is not to make a point, just to let you know. We might have to get you some dad glasses. It is EMBMJ.
What did I say?
Yeah, but J is the 9 of letters, you know.
Is it really? Did I say 9?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy. Maybe there's some beams hitting my head right now that I'm not aware of. EMBMJ, situational awareness, is a minimum viable capability release, or the first iteration of the tool. The cloud-based platform, we'll come back to the cloud in a minute here.
Yeah, great. That's just what we need.
Yeah, this is very specific cloud here, which aligns with combined joint all-domain command and control, integrates a range of electromagnetic spectrum capabilities and functions into one system that seamlessly gathers and arranges data into a single visual display. It's very user-friendly, Basil, this new cloud-based system. Anyone can use it.
One display.
It sounds
one display to rule all of the range of electromagnetic spectrum capabilities and functions.
This is a quote. EMBMJ provides critical and accurate electromagnetic spectrum spontaneous data to combatant commands and Joint Task Force Headquarters Joint Electromagnetic Spectrum Operations Cells, said Christopher Argo, DISA's Spectrum Program Executive Office Director. Cool.
So the implication here is that there are American military cells all over the place, small sort of subterfugal groups who are operating electromagnetic spectrum operations. And this system is like combining command and control of all these little electromagnetic sleeper cells.
What's interesting is the way you read this, it's like, okay, it's new, but also it does say it's an upgrade. You know, it's sort of gathering together and you know, something that the new generation can really tap in. The system is there. You know, it's just
I mean,
user
more than
interface.
anything, it's revelatory.
Yeah.
They are revealing the fact that there are small electromagnetic spectrum operation cells, groups of presumably military all over the place who are independently operating electromagnetic spectrum operations.
Yeah.
And that, whoop-de-doo, now we can control them all together. We have an office of command.
You know, what if all those, you know, those people we made fun of, the liberal meltdown people, what if they were just being hit by just crazy EMPs and we were just all making fun of them on the internet? I mean,
it's really
kind of, I think, what happened. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the way that people are acting, the way that, you know, we see the world happening around us, different groups, big groups, small groups, all seemingly acting totally bonkers, like out of our realm of
normalcy.
I don't know. We don't
just
have
cordiality. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
Cordialness.
that's one word. Cordiality. I mean, it just they make no sense to us. Their actions, their beliefs, their viewpoints, their worldviews, they make no sense. And so, you know, the revelation that there might be teams of electromagnetic 5th generation warriors affecting things kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It's at least one explanation. I'm not saying it's the truth totally, but it helps me understand.
I'm sure in certain situations it was used. I mean, there's no the technology exists. It's too tempting for
undoubtedly
the military to, you know, not use it. Quote, this tool ensures a commander's ability to rapidly act by visualizing the EMS common operating picture and the first step toward achieving EMS superiority. Again, it's an arms race. It's an arms race, which means other nations have probably been here in the U.S. doing this kind of thing for a while too, which may include Russia and China and, you know, others. EMS.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple example is the Havana syndrome stuff.
Yeah. EMS has become a highly contested and constrained battle space in which the United States and its allies are vying for dominance over energy waves produced from things like radios, cell phones, radars, and microwaves. Yeah, just human existence, society.
No, even more than human society. They are talking about the U.S. military or the government, the military, having operations. The battlefield in this case is the unseen realm. They are literally operating militarily in the invisible light spectrum.
Cyberspace.
They're like as close to interdimensional warfare as like we could scientifically pinpoint right now.
Yeah, that's why it's wars and rumors of wars. What are rumors of wars? It's just the psychological warfare. You know, it's just crazy. Maintaining situational awareness of the EMS is necessary for military commanders to manage its use, and it becomes increasingly used by adversaries and therefore congested. So it's a territorial type of thing. It is sort of the virtual layer around us, physical reality. It's like, oh, this domain here. We need to make sure that no EMS signals are foreign. You know, we need to make sure it's just the citizens here and whatnot. It's pretty wild.
The fact that electromagnetic spectrum is sort of the physical gateway into the human mind, you're literally talking. I mean, you could be at least allegorically. You're talking spiritual warfare here.
Yeah. It's like quantizing the spiritual warfare, you know, and being able to have little screens to mess with it, you know, just like, oh, this population over here, you know, let me just turn this little thing on, toggle it on, and boom, you got some people dancing in the streets or something. Yeah.
Dials.
Right. Quote, effective use of the electromagnetic spectrum is essential for successful military operations, says U.S. Air Force Brig Gen Anne Marie Anthony, Joint Electromagnetic Spectrum Operation Center Director. Man, they make these names long. Quote, this system is crucial for the full integration and visualization of spectrum operations. Yes, it's just we must have this to be able to see everything. This is where the warfare is taking place, not in the seen realm, in the unseen realm. It's like, yes, hello.
That's how it's our portal, our window into the unseen realm.
Yeah. So I have this Yahoo Finance article that was published on December 5th to give us maybe a little bit more specificities. What is it?
Specificity.
Yes. To one particular company, Keysight awarded U.S. Air Force contract for electromagnetic spectrum threat simulators. And this is Santa Rosa, California. Keysight Technologies has received $18.5 million U.S. Air Force contract to integrate and deliver 2 electronic warfare threat simulator systems with sustainment support consisting of software patch management, field engineer support, non-critical, blah, 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 blah. National Defense relies on the electromagnetic EM spectrum for radar communications, enhanced situational awareness, and maneuvering. Signals in electronic warfare, EW environments, are rapidly evolving, creating the need to test using high fidelity and complex emitters in realistic EM conditions. To meet these challenges, the military needs modern EWTS systems to create and analyze high-density environments for testing and evaluating the systems it uses for EM operations. And it's just a simulator. I mean, but that's been the problem this whole time, hasn't it? Just simulations upon simulations. And great.
It's like a video game for spiritual warfare.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. There was another document that I found here, the Cyber Battlefield Analysis of Network-Centric Warfare Market Solutions. It's Whatech.com?
Market Solutions.
Yeah. So this is actually a document that was published by Ally Market Research, which says they are a global market research business consulting wing of Allied Analytics LLP in Oregon, and they allegedly do market research and to assist its clients to make strategic business decisions. So There you go. Who are the clients? Well, let's see.
And that's another part of fifth generation warfare. It's state actors and non-state actors.
Yes,
it includes
exactly.
the corporate battlefield.
The private sector. Network-centric warfare is a military operation involving the use of electromagnetic energies in the monitoring, manipulating, reducing, or preventing hostile use of electromagnetic spectrum, and also the detention of the radar of an incoming missile and the gathering of radio signals from an opponent. So very specific there. That's some specific language. Network-centric warfare market is about strategic spectrum dominance and easily becomes part of modern war. Now, this is like an ad, it's like a business report, and it's like, yes, what is the market? Oh, network-centric warfare, of course. Welcome to the network-centric war. Also, it involves warfare of the 5th generation, which is fought in cyberspace, which is usually to prevent cyber attacks and data breaches, and is equally important for national security.
A little simplified, but okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, this is a little synopsis here, but there you go. And it goes into some COVID-19 scenario analysis, and they did some things here, and we don't have to get into the details. All the links are in the description at canarycrynewsstock.com. And just to give a little bit more info on DISA, this was another PRNewswire headline from November, so about a month ago. Yes.
Buddy. Coming from PRNewswire.com, the headline is, "The secret is out." And secret is in quotations. Mm-hmm. The secret is out. How DISA's Defense Enterprise Office Solutions solved the classified cloud challenge for the Department of Defense. And this is what I love about the sort of 5th generation American warfare market or realm or whatever. Yes. It's adopted the sort of banality of the corporate world. Yeah. Putting all these sort of corporate-y sounding language around military operations, synergy.
Yeah, commoditizing the gamifying real life warfare, and just product placement for the war people. They need tools. They need the
it's
stuff.
Really dystopian.
It is.
There
totally.
have been dystopian movies, dystopian video games specifically, where it's like, in a future far, far away,
it's like every video game.
Wars are no longer fought by governments, but by corporations.
That's like every game and every dystopian movie.
To Corp Wars.
And there's robots and genetically altered individuals.
Yeah, and they all are branded and logoed and everything.
Yeah, so this particular thing here, this is the executing the vision of the Department of Defense. So the DoD cast the vision, Basil, And this, they're executing on this idea of operating securely in a cloud space, which was a conundrum for them prior. Leveraging the success of the unclassified cloud joint environment, the Defense Information Systems Agency, in collaboration with GDIT and Microsoft, developed Department of Defense 365-SEC, the
That's
DOTS
hilarious.
365
It's
sec.
it's like Microsoft 365, the subscription to get your Microsoft Word and Excel and everything.
Yeah.
Thanks,
For the
Microsoft.
DoD.
Department of Defense 365.
The first of its kind hyperscale cloud software as a service that's a SaaS on a classified mission network. You're in the classified network, brought to you by Microsoft. And so they have a quote here, which I think is the most interesting part. Delivering DoD 365 sec to warfighters
That is such a joke. I can't hear that product name without...
Yeah, they're bringing it to warfighters. Basil. We're in the battle, Basil. Delivering DoD 365 sec to warfighters is one of DISA's top priorities. It will enable seamless communication, collaboration, and sharing of classified material in a way they have never been able to do on CYBERNet, says Landy Moore. Quote, by offering solutions for seamless and secure information sharing across operational boundaries, we are providing warfighters with modern tools that allow them to operate ahead of the adversary and meet their mission anytime, anywhere. And Moore emphasizes the warfighter will have access to the full suite of Microsoft capabilities with DoD 365-sec.
That's hilarious.
To include Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint Online, Teams, and Power Platform.
Outlook? Oh, you get email.
Yeah. Organize your secret emails. Yeah. I mean,
That's hilarious. You know, this is basically laying the groundwork for AI to have access to all military operations, especially because this cloud will be the way in which data is shared and communications are sent throughout the military. So, you know, it's one thing for one department to see a threat, send the data, request, you know, orders or whatever. And then, you know, relying on your super secret cloud platform. But if it would just take one AI to go rogue, get inside this thing, and totally take control of the entire military apparatus, not even in sort of a big, bombastic way, but very subtly, you know, manipulating slightly the language being communicated back and forth, tweaking with the data being shared. I mean, again, in the same way that we sort of live in a simulation, and I'm not talking about simulation theory, just the idea where our worldviews are presented to us by groups and authorities based on what they want us to think, what they want us to see, what they want us to hear. It's almost impossible to get to one to us, even when it's, you know, our sort of sole mission on this podcast to try to swim our way out of it as much as possible. Like, that's already philosophically almost impossible. But, you know, you get a sneaky AI inside the cloud-based military control.
Yeah.
And it takes very subtle tweaking, very simple you know, little changes to data and communications. And it could be running a whole war. I mean, you're talking about AI wag the dog at that point.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You and I know enough about this. We can be consultants. We can be middlemen and make a fortune selling arms and software to war criminals.
Yeah. All we have to do is learn, I don't know, software and military stuff and be born into a family where our sort of nepotistic parents or uncles or whatever
they have
could,
generational
put us
missions
in front of the billions of dollars.
Yeah, mission partners who need next generation services and capabilities will find the BPA very good. These services, the next generation services and capabilities. So there you go.
Okay, wonderful.
But you know what we need to justify all this? Because right now, I think a lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, this is horrific. The U.S. government and the military are getting their hands on this technology, and you know they're basically admitting to this crazy cyber surveillance apparatus, and worse, you know, mind control type of device, perhaps. We need some patriotism, Basil.
Yeah, we do.
We have this article from aviationweek.com. It is an opinion piece, and it is headlined, U.S. must win the battle for the electromagnetic spectrum. Cue music. Please, recite the inspiration, Basil.
Am I just reading the article?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. We have all seen the grim images of tanks rolling through muddy fields and buildings reduced to rubble by missile strikes. However, some of the most crucial battles taking place in Ukraine are invisible to the naked eye. In recent months, the Russian military has stepped up its use of the electromagnetic spectrum, executing advanced electronic warfare tactics to disrupt, deny, or degrade Ukrainian drones and other systems. Russia has demonstrated an ability to intercept and decrypt tactical communications in real time. Capabilities that the Ukrainian military leaders say are slowing their counteroffensive. U.S. Air Force practitioners of electronic warfare are in a sense operating with one eye blindfolded. In today's environment, they are relying on outdated information and are hamstrung by slow processes and systems that may fail to take advantage of all available information sources. Across the electromagnetic operating environment, they lack an integrated architecture connecting all echelons, from distributed jammers to edge nodes to US-based processing centers, that would enable them to analyze, reprogram, and command and control disaggregated electromagnetic spectrum operations, assets effectively at the speed of need. Make no mistake, if the U.S. loses the fight over control of the electromagnetic spectrum, it loses the fight in all other domains. To ensure dominance in future conflicts, the U.S. Defense Department must significantly accelerate investments in building out EMSO capabilities by modernizing an EMSO data architecture and taking full advantage of widely employed commercial technologies. We can give our warfighters a critical edge to outsmart and outmaneuver adversaries. The Air Force has made data the centerpiece of its innovative agenda, with plans to leverage artificial intelligence and robust cloud-to-edge networks in order to dramatically shorten the time it takes to deliver mission-critical data to warfighters. As part of an improved electronic warfare integrated reprogramming process, this approach would enable real-time electromagnetic battle management of distributed offensive and defensive EMF effects in sort of long-range Air Force kill chains. Whoa. Incremental improvements will not get the U.S. military where it needs to go in the time frame required. A major shift must occur to move from a platform-centric EW approach to a data-centric, enterprise-wide construct comprised of smaller, smarter, and connected EW systems that are decentralized across the battle space. Many of the technologies underlying this new approach are already used in the commercial world. Today's warfighter is familiar with distributed smart sensors, onboard analytics, integrated communications, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, and other technologies at the heart of our mobile society. To achieve future EMS dominance, these same technologies and concepts must apply to EMSO and EW, integrated reprogramming. Well, I'm pumped. I'm excited for it. Go America, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, build back better.
Build back better, blah, blah, blah. We will build Babylon better. This time,
a new world order.
Now we know what the infrastructure bill was about. All that money's got to build the EM weapons.
Yeah, it's futuristic, folks. The future is now. And I don't even know why we need human soldiers anymore. I mean, God bless our troops.
No, we need
God
the people.
bless the vets who served our country. But it seems like it could just all be video game now.
I was going to say, you want to serve your country? Start playing Call of Duty. Train up.
I think my voice might be stuck like this. This is the new, improved, patriotic Basil.
I love it. This is great.
It'd probably be good for the ratings.
Maybe. I don't know. That it would match the site, I would say, a little bit more. The newcomers, new listeners might be more, I don't know. It's Friday.
it's Friday.
There you go. Keep playing with the Friday thing.
You'll learn today.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit.
Are you not entertained?
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yep, we did it. We made it through another week. And Gons, it was kind of trippy. I've been compiling every episode of this show for a secret project that people will get to enjoy starting in 2024. And I'm going down the list of all of our episodes.
Yeah.
And more or less the dates on these episodes, we've basically been doing a show every 2 days for 3, almost 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just an insane amount of content. There's some chatter in the chat. I was using my electromagnetic spectrum dominance to
fight back with the voice.
No, I was using it to spy on the chat to pick up the chatter in the Canarium. And there's talk, some people have found the show again since we got the Face Like the Sun channel taken down.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's not as many people watching. It used to be hundreds. We used to have
about
1,000 people tuning into every show.
Yeah.
And that was just on YouTube, it was an exciting time.
The good old days where we had 1,000 people watching.
Yeah. And now, we still get in the hundreds.
That's live. Yeah.
Live in the hundreds. Right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about live concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
And there's some pontificating on why that might be. And I'll just tell you the answer. It's because they broke our 250,000 their subscriber channel. They banned the channel that had 250,000 people on it. Yeah, if you lose direct access to 250,000 people, your live viewers are going to you're going to see a hit.
Yeah, you know what though? It did feel like in hindsight, obviously hindsight is 2020. They were just kind of bringing the guillotine down slowly over a few years, Right. So by the time it happened, it was, I was ready for it, but it was kind of oncoming. I do have regrets in some.
We could have played
just
it.
in terms
of
played it differently, or just the preparation for it. I mean, we obviously knew it was coming. We were talking about it openly. Right. So it's one of those things. But hey, life goes on. It's okay.
But
it's all right.
If we want to justify our actions, we can be happy in knowing that the people who are still hooked into the show now, they did it on purpose. We don't have passive listeners or passive viewers.
Yeah.
The people who are with us now either found out about it recently or have survived the many channels that we have gotten taken down.
Yeah.
Honestly, considering that the reason for them canceling all our channels is because they wanted us to go away, it's a miracle that we have the audience that we do.
Yeah. The ability. I mean, it is a blessing, and it is partly the reason why we keep going. To know that there are people that are plugged in.
I think we're up to like 3 or 4 of our channels have now been taken down.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So yes, it does. We do take a hit. We take a big hit. It's not nothing. But that just makes it so much cooler that the people who are listening now, they're like, they're in it, man.
Yeah.
They listen to our advice when we say follow us on multiple channels.
You know,
They care enough.
I am hearing a lot of X is the new OG YouTube type of thing going on. So who knows? We might.
Well, our X viewership has exploded.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be literally like 4 people.
That's true.
would
Yeah, the
watch
algos
the
are
show.
starting to come around, I guess. But you know, Grok made fun of me today. Got a hold of Grok. Yeah.
Grok, the XAI.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Oh, do I? I don't know if I want to tell everybody. Actually, I did. I
Oh,
posted
okay.
it on X
I'm
already.
sorry, I thought you were setting me up to like let you get into a bit or something.
No. I was going to talk about how I live near a military base, and we had that explosions last episode on Wednesday, and starting, I guess it was maybe not Wednesday night. It was last night, Thursday night. Just, you know, every once in a while they do tests or drills or something. You hear booms and, you know, explosions and things going on. They're shooting stuff or whatever. And so that's normal. But the amount of time the times they did it and the loudness of it, and maybe people living here where we just moved here in June. So, you know, this is our first year here. Maybe they're used to the amount of boom, but it wakes up the dogs. It's a big boom. It's kind of like, whoa, you know, the whole house rattles kind of thing. So yeah, you know, experiencing explosions nearby after doing an explosion episode is really comforting.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. When I was much younger, I worked on a boat. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I worked on a boat.
Yeah.
And this boat would be off the coast, right, kind of where you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's trippy because when they're testing, I don't know what they're testing, big boomy things.
Yeah, especially out
having
in the
that
ocean.
go over the water. It's sort of like amplified by the water. There's nothing dampening it. When it hits the boat you're on, it's like, whoa, dude.
Yep.
That's serious business.
I think they have, there's Catalina Island. There's another island out there. There's a military island. And I think that's where a lot of it's taking place. But yeah, who knows, man? Fifth gen warfare, bro. We don't see what's going on. We feel the effects.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you good? You got anything
that's it.
to talk about? Okay. What I would like to start out by doing is making an announcement.
Okay.
And we do not make this announcement easily. This was, we really hummed and hawed over this one. Because it's, you know, things you got to think hard about these things. But I am excited, Gons, if you want to load up the promotional materials that was sent to us by Sir Ike. So let me first say that, man, oh man, are we working hard round the clock to get the Canary Cry supply drop to you before Christmas. If everything goes well, this quarter supply drop will be at you before Christmas. And just a reminder to everybody, the cutoff for this quarter is already gone. So as much as I'd like to encourage you to sign up, I don't want you thinking that if you sign up now, the supply drop will make it to you on time, because we need to have our cutoff dates set beforehand because of manufacturing. But Sir Ike made a suggestion, and it was something that was rolling through our inbox pretty much every day, and that is regarding the Canary Cry calendar. And those who've been listening to the show for a while, they know the Canary Cry calendar is an absolute treasure. It is maybe the coolest thing. I think it's the coolest thing because we have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
We don't make it. It wasn't our idea. Nothing. This is entirely producer produced on their own without being asked, and then making it available to the show. And for those who are signed up to the supply drop or the Babysitters Club, you will be receiving the calendar hopefully before Christmas.
Wow.
And that's very exciting. But the loudness of the requests, some of them are polite requests, others are complaining, others are just offended that we are not retailers. Folks, I would not survive if we were doing retail. I spend every day I'm not doing the show, I'm sitting there going through spreadsheets, trying to keep this train on the tracks as far as like the simple aspect of monthly producers. If I had to deal with products every day, I would lose my gourd. But so that's why we never will do retail. But we do send people stuff as thank yous for producership. And Sir Ike approached me with this idea and made a good case. And then a bunch of producers got on my back about it. And so we are going to open up an opportunity for people who are not in the supply drop to receive the calendar. Now, do you have, you got it. Okay, you got this beautiful calendar up. This is the look of the new calendar. I think it's the coolest one yet. I know I say that every year, but it's true every year. It just keeps improving.
It's got a sleeky, futury,
very young, very futuristic, very cool. And it's created by I need to confirm that I can give the name of the person specifically because I don't want to mess it up. So I will be giving this person props every episode from now until the end of the year, probably even to the first quarter of next year. But I want to confirm what name to use. But it's filled with art. First of all, the art. The art is incredible. It's, all your favorite Canary Cry artists. They've band together. They make a unique image for every month. So, all month long, you got the coolest Canary Cry art hitting you right in the face. You've got the hologram of Klaus Schwab at the top of a ziggurat, projecting out his World Economic Forum. One that's very special is we have an homage to Dr. Michael Heiser there on I think February, yep. February, right. We've got Sir Darren, Sir Dove, Sir Salmons. We got everybody. I don't have the list right in front of me.
Yeah.
Sir Casey.
Yeah, Sir Casey the Shield Man. It's on there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sir Casey's in there.
Christine C's in there too.
Christine's probably in there. I don't have the list right in front of me, but it's amazing art by the producers, inside jokes, conglomeration of different topics, all packed into one image every month. I cannot say enough good things about it. But also in the pages on the actual calendar sections of the calendar, surprise, surprise, it's just absolutely jam-packed with important dates and anniversaries and everything. And these dates and anniversaries, they are not just for the show, although there's a lot of remembrances of days of the show, which is very fun, especially if you've been listening for a while. But there's also history for secret societies, history for sort of WEF globalism. There's, I'm looking at March right now. Can I zoom in? Let me zoom in. For instance, March 13th, on that day, 1911, L. Ron Hubbard is born. 1954, KGB is formed. 1962, Operation Northwoods. Hello. 2020, COVID-19 declared a national emergency.
They like that date. 313.
On the date.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got March 16th, 2012, first Canary Cry episode. So it's just all over the place. Every month has 20 dates to fill your morning with interesting facts that come from sort of the Canary Cry body of knowledge. So that's awesome. So anyways, there's all these things. People want it every year. People get mad at us that we don't sell it. And we're not going to sell it. But this year, we are going to make it available for the month of December. And yes, this is retroactive from the beginning of the month. For the month of December, if you executive produce the show, you will have the option to receive the calendar. You are not forced to take the calendar. Some people are supply droppers and get it already. You can have another one. Or if you don't want to receive the calendar, we'll have sort of a pay it forward program, I think. So there you go. I believe at this point it is one per month, but who knows? If people want to get more and they executive produce all they want, I'd be happy sending out as many calendars as executive producers. And the reason we did it this way is because first of all, it's for the supply droppers. The supply droppers, they produce every month to get these exclusive things. But executive producership being what it is, it kind of makes it fair for everybody receiving the calendar. Just to reiterate, so everybody gets it and nobody is confused about this. We are not selling the calendars. So I don't want anybody hitting me with that retail speak, okay?
Hey.
Sometimes
we can't control what anybody does.
Customer service emails.
We can't control what
I
was just saying, we can't control what anybody does on the secondary market. Just we have no control over that. Putting that out there.
Yeah, there
too.
you go.
Executive
somebody produce, turn around, sell it for 2 executive producership.
I was going to say, yeah. But yeah, you
Hold
can do
it
it the other way.
hostage.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. So that's the thing. Just to reiterate, because I have to deal with the customer service emails, we are not selling the calendar. But every executive producer in the month of December, even starting from the month, will have the option to receive it. There you go. And of course,
Awesome.
you can executive produce by going to canarycry.support. And I think it's time we thank and name the people for this episode who will have the option to receive the calendar.
Executive producers.
That's right, folks. We're on the value for value model, which means we do not sell anything. We also do not take any money from corporations, cartels, or commies. No advertise. This is what it's like to live with principles. Guns.
I know it's inconvenient. That's the whole point. Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. We make less money that way.
Yep.
But at least we have principles. It's been really bugging me the past month or so. When those people in your life, whether they're your friends, your family, or just strangers on the internet, or just groups of people, whatever. I've been I've generally pretty gracious to everybody in my life, but it's just been ringing in my head lately. Like, what is bothering me about this person? It's just they don't have principles. They're not living by principles. They're just willy-nilly, the blow of the wind, the headline on the news, the whatever it is. They're just sort of being blown back and forth, build their house on the sand, if you will. And so anyways, I'm shortening everything. Principles, folks, that's what it is. We got executive producers. They produce the show for $100 or more for any individual episode. And we thank them here because they're important. Ready?
Yep.
You know them. You love them. It's executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2, now to the bringing protocol.
Let me try that again. There it is. And there he goes.
That's right. Comes in with his $100 and 33 cents. 241 episode streak in total, 37 executive producer streak.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
Incredible.
Is Sir Alex Protocol V2 going to get like 55 calendars?
You know what? This
should
have been a detail that I figured out beforehand. I need to talk to Sir Ike and figure out what the deal is on multiples. That is unconclusive right now, but I will have conclusions later. He will at least get one. Thank you very much, executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2, now to the Brian Protocol.
No note.
And the Lord has blessed us this day, Gons, because we have 2 executive producers.
Well, let me properly thank Sir Alex Protocol V2.
Where'd you find this?
And who else?
And now we have executive producer Dame Sarah of the Shadows.
Dame Sarah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dame Sarah.
Cool.
And Dame Sarah comes in for a nice round number, which means we won't disclose the amount on the show. If you don't mind us disclosing the amount on the show, then you can make it a funky number. For instance, Sir Alex Protocol puts 33 cents at the end of his. You do 1, 2, 3, 4. Just send a little message with your numbers, and that'll tell us that you don't mind us disclosing it on the show. Now, I did not perceive or detect a note from Dame Sarah. Did you?
I did not see anything come in.
Have you checked the Proton mail recently?
Yeah, I did.
You
Let's
did?
see,
Okay,
I
I didn't see
did,
anything from her.
I'll double check, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't think
I was
there's
just checking because I would say more often Dame Sarah would send a note. But if there's a note and we missed it, Dame Sarah, we will tell you. Or no, we will do it next time.
Yep. Thank you very much.
You know, here's
Where'd you find this?
I'm going to answer this question because I'm sure there's more than one person wondering this. And this is from producer Sue. And producer Sue asks, I was wondering if monetary gifts of support are tax deductible. Do you send a receipt for tax purposes? Thanks for letting me know. No, producership of the show is not tax deductible because we are not a 501c3. We ached and pondered over how to set up the show many years ago. There are problems with the charitable sort of setups, just the whole thing. We don't need to get into a rant about 501c3s. But no, we are not a charity. So the monetary gifts are not tax deductible, but we appreciate them nonetheless. And, we are in constant contact with Jesus Christ to let him know who's producing the show. And, he's got some sort of program that he's running. I'm not exactly sure the details. So thank you for the question, Sue.
Yeah.
And I hope that's an answer for everybody.
Cool.
Yeah. You know what? Producership, very, very short list today.
Okay.
So I think I'll just run through it and we'll keep going.
All right.
All right. So it's not all executive producers. We also have regular producers who produce the show with their value. It could be with their time, their talent, or their treasure. We have 0 producers who came in
Really?
under the executive producer amount.
Wow.
Yeah, 0. It's been a long time since it was 0. I mean, this is why the executive producers are so important,
Yeah.
because the executive, if it weren't for the execs today, man, we'd be pretty sad. We'd be pretty sad this close to Christmas with no producers. Now, of course, this bad news does not include the streakers who come in under the $7.77 amount.
Okay.
So we will thank the streakers. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
We got Dr. Who Done Dat, 35 in a row.
Thank you, Dr. Who Done That.
Sir Morv, Night of the Burning Chariots, 308 in a row.
Thank you, Sir Morv.
Veronica D, 338 in a row.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Dame Gale, 331 in a row.
Dame Gale, thank you.
Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 362 in a row.
Sir Scott.
Sir Case of the Shield Knight, 377.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Sir Casey,
There you
the Shield
go.
Knight.
Man, oh man. Just to mention, we had somebody one Lousy Petunia is asking, is there a supply drop producer jingle? Not a producer jingle.
Yeah,
like when somebody signs up. That would be cool. A nice, snappy, clear, like supply drop producer thing we can hit when somebody shows up.
We have this, which is not playing. Why isn't it? I hit
Yeah,
button,
the
does not
helicopter one.
Waiting for supply drop.
Yeah, it's that
I think
Marty
that
B
could
one.
technically count. It's a little long.
Yeah.
For a quick one. You know what? And speaking of which, I did miss one person who did sign up for the Babysitters Club.
Oh, okay. Babysitters Club, which
in Supply Drop.
In Supply Drop,
they're
yes,
the same thing.
it's Inception.
Canary Cry Babysitters Club.
That's right. That's the thing we're doing now. We gotta get the Babysitters Club up. I think, after last week's or last episode's little bump, we are only in need of like 90 people to sign up for the Babysitters Club. And if you don't know, this is the one program we have right now where you can know exactly what your producership is going to. It's going to a pile, and out of that pile, we are paying for childcare for Gonza's kids. Right now, it is unstable. It is infrequent. But that's what it goes to. And just so you know, that all of the Babysitters Club stuff will go to that. And we have one person who signed up yesterday. And let's thank them. They're the most important person in the world, babysitter extraordinaire, Audie W.
Audie W, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Audie W. Appreciate that.
W.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you for everybody who produced with your treasure today. Remember, there's all sorts of ways to produce the show, time, talent, treasure, and you can go to canarycry.support to learn more, or go straight to canarycrybabysittersclub.com to sign up there. Canary. Oh, yeah.
What?
Just a reminder, we did put a one-time, support button. So like you don't have to sign up for the supply drop. You can make a one-time producership to make sure your money goes straight to the Babysitters Club.
Very cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Now you ready for Flippy?
Ready for Flippy.
Canary cry support.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. It's Flippy Update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and how there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy Update is coming from BusinessInsider.com. Weird. Thanks, Business Insider. And Business Insider wants me to have an account. God, this is the problem we have today. The kids these days, all these kids want us to make accounts to be able to read the news. Business Insider, of course, some suspicious funding and connections to the intelligence apparatus. Perhaps that's why they want my info.
Yeah.
But I now have a web archive, and it goes like this. KISS says their future concerts will be performed by forever young digital avatars. Of course. KISS has been on tour lately, Gons.
Yeah.
And I had no idea this was happening. Of course, the KISS guy, the main guy, I forgot what his name is.
Yeah.
Is it Gene Simmons?
Gene Simmons.
Big vax head, loves the stuff. KISS used to be sort of an anti-authoritarian, anti-establishment outfit, and now has turned into gov-loving bootlickers.
Well,
but that's okay.
That's happened to a lot of them, a lot of the rockers.
That whole generation of musicians, with few exceptions.
Because they're older, I guess, but...
Yeah. But KISS ended the last live show of their 50-year career by revealing their digital avatars. Rock band KISS played the final live show of their 50-year career on Saturday at Madison Square Garden in New York, but it wasn't an official curtain call, as the band announced their act would live on through forever young digital avatars. There's so many problems with this that I feel so deeply that I can't go in to all of them. I mean, we talk about...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, one of them is at the core, probably a money-making or a continued money-making operation. Long live their legacy. Let's capitalize on it for generations to come.
Yeah, it's a brand. It's a business. They sell a product.
Right.
And at this point, that product is live
entertainment
shows, live entertainment. And so I understand that. That's actually the least of my issues. I mean, the forever young digital avatars, we're talking about how robots, specifically one of the biggest use cases is for elder care. Put our elders in a cave with a robot. So not only are we disconnecting from our elderly, but we are losing our elders, elders of our communities, of our families. That's a big spiritual problem. But, when revealing like, hey, we're old and we're not going to play this music anymore, you're allowed to retire. That's okay. But then to,
the show must go on.
Frame this as specifically forever young digital avatars, as if the draw for somebody to participate in KISS live performance is that they will be young forever. This sort of gross, idolization of youth.
They're vampires.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just vampires.
That is separately a problem. They are.
I mean,
vampiric.
literally, they look like vampires. They have made a career of just looking like vampires,
yeah.
rock and rolling. Yep.
Right. But I think it's gross. It makes me feel icky. The fact that they're like, yeah, we're going to continue making money. That's okay. But it's all going to be predicated on the idea that you can see a fake, forever young version of us.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. Known for their hit song, I Was Made for Lovin' You, the band wrapped up their End of the Road farewell tour by revealing the new digital avatars on stage. Quote, we can be forever young and forever iconic by taking us to places we've never dreamed of before. What?
Well, I'm playing the video in the background here. We have been immortalized, and this shows all the these 7-year-old guys in their what are they called? Those suits, the haptics, not the haptic suits,
the motion capture
suits. They got it's like a leotard, but then they got the little things everywhere to get all the nodes to collect the movement data, and then it shows the musicians, I guess, reborn as avatars, and they're like in their digital form, and they're floating around, and I mean, they're gonna be more, I don't know, cool because they're flying and floating, and they can be on fire and stuff, and it's just next level rock concert.
Well, another part of it is that they are immortalizing themselves in this sort of transhuman, techno utopic or dystopic way. Is we're getting old, we're not going to be here forever. I mean, the baby blood can only get us so far. But the business that is Kiss can go on forever. This is strictly for economic purposes, by the way.
Yeah,
the business that is Kiss can literally go on forever. When it was, I mean, a band is based on people, human living beings. That's kind of the idea behind live entertainment, because you can watch a video, you can listen to a music on Spotify or whatever.
Listen to a music every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's this spiritual problem where, for the purposes of the vampiric necro-capitalist system that we live in, the beast system requires that they never die, or when they do die, they are easily replaceable by technology. I mean, it's a sick spiritual problem, really. It makes my spirit sad that this is, and of course you can just be like, whatever, they're old, they can keep making money, and it's not just them. There's lots of people they employ, but it's just a gross feeling.
Necro-capitalism.
Profiteers of death.
The band said their digital avatars were created using motion capture, blah, blah, blah. Got George Lucas in on there. That's cool.
Yeah, Magic Studio.
Today, sorry, what?
Nope, go ahead.
Yeah. They have some tweets here. I don't know. We don't. There's nothing else of import in this in this article necessarily. It's just something that we get to feel weird about.
Gee, okay,
what do you think,
so the
Gons?
two companies were also behind ABBA's virtual concert, which put digital avatars on the band stage in May of 2022. The ABBA concerts,
for $1 billion.
Yeah, the ABBA concerts bring in more than $2 million a week per Bloomberg.
Right. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, and that's currently the digital version of ABBA's concerts brings in $2 million a week. It's absolutely bonkers. Says this new hologram project won't be able to replicate the feel of an original live show. Sure. But I think it is a great idea for a show that keeps the legacy alive after the band is over. The most disappointing failures of human life is the fact that that we want to live forever, and we don't care how it happens. It is a long, very old storyline. Whether in history or whether in ancient fiction. Somebody wanting to live forever. They are so convinced that they are so important, that living forever is the most important thing. And in these myths, in these tales, in these historical contexts, living forever is always bought at a price. It could be some sort of curse. It could be, whatever. It actually ends up killing you, like the Chinese emperors who are drinking mercury or whatever. It's such a ancient task to try to live forever that just don't be fooled by this futuristic technological veneer on this thing. What KISS is participating in is a thousands of generations, as many humans as have lived. They have always tried to live forever. So this is an ancient story, and to see the technological sort of veneer on it, I can't tell if they see it or not, but it's the original hubris of humanity that every time ultimately turns out to sort of turn on us. And let me be clear, I do not care about KISS. I'm not.
You've been going on this rant.
I am not a KISS.
As if you were attacked by a KISS fan or something.
Yeah, I know.
You just have trauma from when you were a child. Some teenage angst KISS fan got mad at you.
I am no more connected to KISS than I am to really any other musician. I'm not a huge musician person. But this is just one example. This is gonna happen time and time again. You can guarantee Taylor Swift is gonna start doing this. You can do every big, if a person gets big enough, and again speaks to not only the musicians doing this or celebrities, but you could do it with anyone, with politicians, with CEOs. These are all things that are happening where after somebody's death, they can be immortalized in one way or another. It is literally the one step. It is the one missing step between now and uploading our consciousness and living inside cyberspace. This is this is fertilizing the ground that will next turn into the upload your consciousness and inhabit your forever young personality inside the computer.
There's
Gons, I think it's time we make a hologram of you.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was going to say there's a project on the Cardano blockchain. It's the same blockchain that has Sophia and everything. They are building this, I forget the name. I was trying to look up the name. It's something immortal. It was some kind of immortal thing. It's an AI bot, chat bot type thing.
Right.
They take the writings and all the kind of stuff for historical figures, and because it's blockchain and it's open source, they're going to do Hitler, and they're going to do these historical figures that you can go and chat with, and it'll spit out all the stuff they wrote or said, or
Sure.
That'll be the new. It's like Ask Jeeves, but it's Ask Anyone.
Yeah, we're going to do that for us. There's going to be the Canary Cry ChatGPT, where we're going to upload all the transcripts of every show we've ever done.
It's crazy, but it's true that we're probably
going to be
horrible. It's going to be awful, and we're going to do it. So anyway, I'm tired of trying to remember things. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of which, especially what?
It'll be good because if we forget, we're often forgetting our predictions, our things. I mean, that's why we make such a big deal about it when we call something exactly, because we can't remember all the things we've called, and we're just excited to remember.
Yeah.
But once we have all of our show's transcripts into AI, then we can ask ourselves, like, what did I say about this topic? And then it just pumps it all out. And boom, if we label it right, we could probably have the Canary Cry GPT tell us, exact time codes and exact episodes that we said something.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yes. Immortal Empires, is that it? Okay. Transhumanism, just stepping right into it.
My generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, the first generation to live forever, or the last generation that's going to die.
Lots of interesting developments on the transhuman front. This one's just a quick update. This is coming from, I think it's Nature? Yes, nature.com. It's a scientific paper. And the headline is Low Frequency Magnetic Response of Gold Nanoparticles. It says here in the abstract, gold nanoparticles, AUNPS, exposed to low-frequency magnetic fields have shown promise in enhancing biological processes such as cellular reprogramming. Despite the experimental evidence, a comprehensive understanding of the underlying physical principles and the corresponding theory remains elusive. The most common hypothesis is that functionalized nanoparticles transiently amplify magnetic fields, leading to improved cellular reprogramming efficiency. And the conclusion from this paper is that, let's see, we found that a magnetic field enhancement comparable to the incident field requires very high magnetic susceptibilities, well beyond the value measured in functionalized gold nanoparticles thus far. So they basically were able to say, okay, yes, gold nanoparticles do seem to have some kind of effect in creating, just to be, I'm trying to simplify it, create sort of these different shapes of electromagnetic fields that affects how biology operates. But their thing is, there needs to be a lot more of that charge in order to be effective on a more tangible level. So they're detecting stuff, but it's not quite there yet. Now, it's fascinating to me just because of the stuff I've talked about. Face like the sun. It's about your face being radiant and shining literally. It's not just a metaphorical thing. You have Moses coming down from Mount Sinai in Exodus 34. They had to put a bag on his head because his face was glowing, and people were like, I can't see you. Right. Put a bag on your face. So it's an actual physical thing. You got Jesus' transfiguration, Matthew 17. And what's interesting with the gold is gold being the symbol for being purified. 1 Peter 1:7, Revelation 3:18, both use gold as a symbol for purification or refinement. And then Daniel 12, verses 2 and 3, talks about the end times after the resurrection of the people, the church, that we will shine. So we'll have this sort of, and then we had talk about the gold streets, and Revelation 20 and 21 talks about the New Jerusalem. So gold has always had a very interesting place in not just the Bible, but in eschatological terms. So I thought it was interesting. The more, I guess we just learn more. We know more about creation, and we'll see how that operates. So just to, maybe hold the bar of gold, Basil, when you go to sleep, and you'll dream better or something.
Okay. I mean, what is a bar of gold other than a whole lot of gold nanoparticles? You just a huge clump, just a massive clump of nanoparticles. Big old chunk of nanoparticles. And on the backs of that, that doesn't even make sense. Multiple backs. We have a CRISPR update. It's been a while since we've talked about CRISPR, which is why the jingle is nowhere to be found. What happened to my CRISPR jingle? Oh, no. This is something that should be pretty easy to pull up. I know. It's got its own folder. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Aha. You can't take the CRISPR. You can't take the CRISPR. Cas9. For longtime listeners, this will not come as a surprise. Yes, buddy. Keizo, what's up? Not come as a surprise. Yeah, this is another one of those things, of course, that we've been following since the beginning of the show. The first CRISPR medicine is now approved in the U.S. The one-time gene editing fix is meant to halt debilitating pain crisis for sickle cell patients. Yeah. We talked about this quite a bit when they were doing the tests. Yeah, I mean, this is, something we've been following for a very long time, and we've thought is extremely interesting. And of course it doesn't take a genius to know that this would be sort of, imminent, is sort of a guarantee that this would go by. I think the timing is interesting, especially because of, the gene therapy aspect of the past couple years, where, of course, they were working on this CRISPR medicine. For those who need a reminder, CRISPR is the process by which scientists can splice, can edit DNA, much like you would edit a piece of video. Yeah. So definitely imminent. But I think more than anything, I think what compels us to talk about these updates is because it's more of a way for us to fully conceptualize the passing of time. Yeah, that's true. Because in our heads, CRISPR has always been approved by the FDA.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time till it happened. And then when it actually happens, it feels like ages ago.
Yeah, they're late. They're late to the party. Yeah, and the one thing that we pointed out during the study was that sickle cell specifically affects African descent people. So we compared the whole thing of, hey, the vaccines that they send over to Africa to test out on populations. It's sort of the same kind of deal where they're like, what's the first CRISPR thing we can do? The thing that affects the African descent.
Yeah, I mean, another part of this is, as we've seen, they've made a habit now of doing the testing of a new medical product live in the market.
Yeah.
The true testing happens in the real world. You get the technical pass from FDA, but the real testing happens once the product is out in the market and available to whoever it's available to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of times, I mean, Bill Gates, famous for testing all his stuff in Africa and India. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the first attempt to make CRISPR work as a medicine will be done in the Black community, primarily.
Yeah,
I mean, it just follows the MO 100%.
Yeah, Jacqueline J is in the chat there mentioning the 23andMe data breach, and we didn't report it, but we did see it. The 6.9 million. What was it? Something I forget. It was 6.9 was the number that I remember seeing.
Told you so.
Yep. Okay, real quickly here.
We will launch a new age. I am
innocent.
They're coming after me.
They love killing. They love killing.
This will come as no surprise, but in the context of fifth generation warfare and the election or the lack of election or whatever the next year holds, The Atlantic, my favorite, has a headline, "What will happen to the American psyche if Trump is reelected?" Okay, so it's not, there's a lot of talk about he says he'll be a tyrannical, what did he say? Not a tyrannical. He'll be a, what's the word?
Yeah, he's going to be a dictator. Dictator, that's what he said.
Dictator, thank you, yes. A lot of Trump stuff going around. He said he'll be a dictator for a day and then not.
Just one day.
Hilarious. So a lot of this stuff, but this has nothing to do with what he will actually do as a human. This is what will happen to the psyche. And I
feel that this is what they're going to do to the population of America. They're going to shoot laser beams to their heads, but that's not what they tell us. They're going to tell us.
Well, yeah. And remember, what happens to the population is done to them through the media. Trump does nothing directly. Every effect, every storyline, every narrative, everything anybody knows about Trump is given to them by the media, as we all know. Just a quick intro. There were times during the first 2 years of the Biden presidency when I came close to forgetting about it all. The taunts, the provocations, the incitements, and the resentments, the disorchestrated reasoning, the verbal incontinence, the press conferences fueled by megalomania, vengeance, and the soapcon of hydroxychloroquine. I forgot almost. I have no idea what that word is. I forgot almost that we'd had a man in the White House who governed by tweet. No, he didn't. I forgot that the news cycle had shrunk down to microseconds. No, you didn't. You're in the media. I forgot even that we had a president with a personality so disordered and a mind so dysregulated, this being a central irony that our nation's top executive had zero executive function. Boom! Mental health burn. Good one, The Atlantic. That the generals around him had to choose between carrying out presidential orders and upholding the Constitution. No, they didn't. I forgot in short that I'd spent nearly 5 years scanning the Welt for threats. Oh, indulging in the most neurotic form of magical thinking. Okay. Convinced that my monitoring of Twitter alone was what stood between Trump and national ruin, just as Erica Young believed that her concentration and vigilance were what kept her flight from plunging into the sea. Say what you want about Joe Biden. He's allowed us to go days at a time without remembering he's there. Isn't that perfect?
Well, yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
Yes.
These people want a president that they don't have to think about.
Yeah.
And that's the evil.
Great.
That's the banality of the evil that is the current administration.
Well, he's
But now
modeling it
here-
for the people.
Mhm.
You know, he can barely remember what's going on. So he's modeling it for the people.
Yeah, he's not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
But now we're here, faced with the prospect of a Trump restoration. We've already seen the cruelty, the chaos that having a malignant narcissist in the Oval Office entails. What will happen to the American psyche if he wins again? What will happen if we have to live in fight or flight mode for 4 more years and possibly far beyond? Nice little like, oh, he's gonna cancel all the elections, just like we're gonna see Biden do next year. Okay, and here's the beautiful part about it. So we're talking about Trump affecting the psyche of America, which is really the media affecting the psyche of America. We all know this. And here's the reasons why Trump's winning of the election will kill people. Our bodies are not designed to handle chronic stress. Neuroscientists have a term for the tipping point moment when we have to capitulate to it, allostatic overload. And the result is almost always sickness in one form or another. Interesting sort of pandemic connection there. Whether it's a mood disorder, substance abuse, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, or ulcers, quote, increase your blood pressure for a few minutes to evade a lion. A good thing. Robert Sapolsky, somebody we've read a lot from over the years, one of the country's most esteemed researchers of stress, emailed me when I asked him about Trump's effect on our bodies. Trump's effect on our bodies. Okay. They're tired. They're like, you know what? Nobody thinks he's going to be a dictator. Nobody thinks he's going to cancel elections. Nobody really believes anything we're saying. Okay. Here's what we do. We convince them that Trump will literally kill their bodies. You mean like execute people in the media? No. Like some sort of ambient spiritual sickness that everybody will die because of Trump. But, quote, increase your blood pressure every time you're in the vicinity of the alpha male, you begin to get cardiovascular disease.
What?
A weird sort of, I don't know, weird sort of credit they're giving Trump or something, that he's an alpha male, and that's how it's going to give us heart disease. Excess levels of stress hormone cortisol and extended periods is terrible for the human body. It hurts the immune system in ways that, among other things, can lead to worse outcomes for COVID and other diseases. If Trump wins, your body will catch COVID just from his being the president. One 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open reported that Trump's election to the White House correlated with a spike in premature births among Latino women. Trump caused premature births in Latina women specifically.
So racist.
His powers.
He's so racist. I can't even.
He's so racist that Latino women give birth early just because he exists.
Oh, he's definitely
insanity.
the Antichrist, man. It's crazy. Continue.
I mean, the narrative crafting about this guy has reached literal biblical proportions. They're just like, the mainstream media is just like, no, yes, he is the demon of pestilence. If he comes into office, babies will be born early. Everyone will get COVID simply by his magical effect on our bodies. It's absolutely insane. Another major component of our allostatic overload, notes Gloria Mark, the author of Attention Span, would be techno stress.
Techno stress.
In this case, brought on by obsessive checking of and interruptions from and passing around of news, which Trump made with destructive capacity, no,
destructive
The news
rapidity.
made the
rapidity.
news.
Yes, the news made the news. Yeah, yes, that's
The
true.
media made the news about Trump. Trump did not make news. The media made the news that is killing people. Human brains are not designed to handle such a helter-skelter onslaught. Effective multitasking, according to Mark, is in fact a complete myth. There's always a cost to your productivity. Yet, we are once again facing a news cycle created by the media that will shove our attention as well as our output, our nerves, our sanity through a Cuisinart. So he's literally admitting that the media has the ability to not only make you sick, but to also cause babies to be born prematurely. That is what the news does to us. And, it says a lot more about this. Let me give one more. This is mental health. So they're literally talking about physical health. One might reasonably ask how many Americans will truly care about the constant churn of chaos. Yeah, like we don't have that now, given how many of us still walk around in a fog of political apathy.
It
Quite
says
a few,
fug,
apparently.
by the way. F-U-G. Interesting. I don't know if that's
fug.
a typo.
Yeah, weird. The American Psychological Association's annual stress survey conducted by the Harris poll found that 68% of Americans reported that the 2020 election was a significant source of strain. Kevin B. Smith, a political science professor at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, found that about 40% of American adults identified politics as, quote, a significant source of stress in their lives, based on YouGov surveys he commissioned in 2017 and 2020. Even more remarkably, Smith found that about 5% reported having had suicidal thoughts because of our politics. How do people come in contact with politics, Gons?
The local diner is where people get their
the news, the
information about what's going on. Yes, it's the news. Yeah, news,
the
news
news.
media. Yes,
the news is the one causing people to have 5% of people having suicidal thoughts because of politics. The news creates the conditions, creates the problems, and in this case, creates the mental health problems. Richard A. Friedman, a clinical psychiatry professor at Doesn't Matter, wonders if a second Trump term would be like a second paralyzing blow in boxing, translating to, so not only is he making us sick, not only is he making us suicidal, but now he's boxing us. He's hitting us in the face. Thanks, Trump. Translating into, quote, learned helplessness on a population level scale. Who teaches us learned helplessness?
On a population level scale? Yeah, that's the news media. The news media
It's
does
the
that.
news. Education is a close second, probably,
Yeah.
in which a substantial proportion of us curdle into listlessness and despair, just how the news wants it. Such an epidemic would be terrible, especially for the young. We'd have a generation of nihilists. Hello, Gen Z. You're already there on our hands, with all future efforts to #resist potentially melting under the waffle iron of its own hashtag. And I'm going to stop there because the rest of it is that. The attempt for the mainstream media to say that Trump himself will cause Latino women to have premature babies, to get sick, get COVID, become suicidal. It's because of their own role. It's their own work. It's their own role. And it's exactly what they wanted. Whoever's the one influencing what's going on, they want this. This is why you disconnect. You disconnect, first of all, spiritually from the news. That's the most important thing. A lot of people can ignore the news, but they're still spiritually connected. Here, spiritually disconnect from the news. Know that it is a war being fought, and you are not the general of the army. That's God, okay? God's got the whole thing handled. Disconnect spiritually from the news. Disconnect emotionally. We do that here by breaking down, analyzing the news. See how they're emotionally manipulating us. See how our minds are the battlefield of fifth generation warfare.
Yep.
And then last but not least, if you can, disconnect, I think, physically, mentally from the news. That's not something we can do. That's, I mean, you know, that's a little bit more complicated with listeners of this show. I don't know if disconnecting means literally not hearing it, because that's sort of dangerous. It's not good. I don't think it helps you. That is what controls you. They want you to tune out. They want you to be too stressed that you just stop keeping track of things.
Yeah.
I have friends like that. It's they know it. They're like, no, I'm just disconnecting because it makes me sad. That's not what you want here. This is what they want. But disconnecting emotionally, spiritually, and disconnecting mentally, in that you are disconnecting from the idea that they are telling the truth, disconnecting from the idea that they are actually reporting the news. They are not. They are activists. They are magicians. They are wizards of worldview who are paid sorcerers to control the population in this 5th generation warfare. And they finally pulled, I think, the final bunny out of the hat by saying that Trump will literally make your baby be born prematurely because of his racism and madness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
there you go.
That summarizes the whole situation there. Well done. I don't have much to add. I was going to do something with this article for fun, with something I was going to share, but I'll save that for next episode.
Okay.
And we'll have some fun with that next time. But
sounds great.
Yeah. Looking at the clock, Basil, there is
got a hard out.
Got a hard out. We're past it.
Okay.
So.
I think that's okay. You know, people have complained to us for so long that we take too many breaks and we think too many people. So I hope they enjoy these shows with less breaks for now. We have art and music producers. We will be thinking on Monday. It's going to be awesome. We appreciate all the artists, all the musicians, all the micro fictionists, everybody who produces the show with their time, their talent, and their treasure. It's incredible. I have been on a spurt of contacting people who have filled out our producer form at canarycry.support. If you go to canarycry.support and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a form. This is a form for people who want to get involved with their time, who want to help us with things. Lord knows we need as much help as possible. This could be administrative stuff. This could be fun marketing stuff. This could be social media stuff. It could be anything. If you want to get involved and become a part of the sort of production team, go to canarycry.support, go on down, hit that form, fill it out, and I will see you. I will reach out to you. And if you've done it previously, check your email. I'm reaching out to you because 2024, we're getting serious, folks. 2024 is promising to be an absolutely insane year, and Gons and I cannot do it on our own. It's a year that it is probably more important than ever that we do not slack on the ability to do the important things that the producers are allowing us to do or helping us with or doing for us. All these things. It's going to be great. So go fill out that form if you're interested, and you'll get an email from me. And some of those producers I want to thank are the timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
This is a great example. These timestampers, they timestamp every single show. Sometimes they're doing it live. And these timestamps, it's not just for you. It's not, I mean, it is for you also, but it is not for you. It is for us. It allows us it helps us when creating appeals for when our channels are getting banned. It helps us go back and make connections with stories we've covered, predictions we've made, and it goes into some of our technical stuff too. It's very important. And that's why I want to thank our timestamper from last episode, who I don't know. I'm assuming it was, I'm going to make a guess.
Jade B.
Jade Bouncerson?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Jade Bouncerson.
Jade Bouncerson, nailed it. Thank you, Jade, for that.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who sends us links. You can send us links preferably, by going to canarycry.report. This is where you can, again, it's a form, fill out the form, and it goes into a spreadsheet, so it's organized, and we can look at those links and consider them for the show. Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Clank, thank you. Anyways, he's moving house, I believe, this month, so he's taking a little break, but thank you, Clank. I'll talk about Clank stuff later. It's incredible. And other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your friends' family, share it with your family's friends, share it with the people around you. But you don't have to do it the normal way. Of course, post it on your social. Of course, email it to people. Those who found the show today for the first time since we got our YouTube banned, go tell people. Go to the other places where you are watching shows with other people. You know, other people share other shows on our chat. There's no reason why our people shouldn't be sharing our show on other people's live chat, things like that. Getting our name out there is what has people who tweeted, people who posted, people who did things like that. They are directly responsible for us being able to get the guests on the show that we do. They're directly responsible for Adam Curry coming on the show, the Podfather. If it weren't for people tweeting our name in front of him, he wouldn't have come on. And that's the same for all over the internet. So go share it everywhere. But if you want a unique way, a way that really expresses your God-given talents, you can find something like that. Let's see here. Go ahead, become some sort of mad scientist, go through the scientific religious ceremonies, the rituals that they don upon you, a white coat of priesthood, and then create CRISPR medicine. Of course, it's going to be easy soon. You'll get it approved. The FDA doesn't care, and you can test it on the world. You can test it live. It does not cure some sort of physical disease, but like Trump himself, who just by existing can affect your body and your unborn child and your mental health. That's why we need this CRISPR medicine that genetically imprints this podcast on the ancestral DNA of every human who takes it. That's just one way to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it whatever way you want. We call it rattling cages. Now all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
We will get to Nephilim Antarctica next week, but this is 2 episodes in a row where we haven't been able to do it. And one thing you can do is to share the Nephilim penguin with Roseanne. That's our next thing, our next target.
It's our next get.
Yeah.
We got to get Roseanne
to get a Nephilim penguin t-shirt or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Crying News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
I love the Great Reset.
Toilets! I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
He's a Satanist. I'm for the robots.
Data. Take that for data.
People don't even read their Bible, for heaven's sakes.
You can't handle the truth.
Give me a break.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cried, I suppose.